Society will certainly do its best to put it through its paces, but I understand at the moment there is still some limitations placed on that particular helicopter until it has what we call a full release to service.
That's right, it's early days yet. The aircraft that's displaying this afternoon has probably got about 30 or 40 hours on the airframe, so it's straight out of the factory about 3 months ago, and the aircraft is still very much in the development phase. Coming to the end of the tactical development phase and starting training very shortly, but the aircraft still has some limitations, which is a bit of a challenge for the Lynx pilot and Gary to match their performance of the aircraft.
Yes, they may look the same, but in fact they're really quite dissimilar in many respects. Certainly internally they're very, very different aircraft, and externally, well, you can see some of the differences. But I'll leave you with Andy now to talk you through the Wildcat's display 2014. Over to you.
Suggest that if you can do a little bit of spot the difference as we go through the display, I'll talk you through some of the differences between the two aircraft as they come to the high hover, ready for the first of the nose overs in the display. The rate of climb for the Wildcat is much improved over the Lynx, fitted with two larger engines and able to lift a lot heavier weight. The Wildcat weighs in at 5,700 kilograms at the moment, which will grow to 6,250, which will outweigh the Lynx by over half a ton once it enters service. The Wildcat looks slightly larger, as you can see it doesn't have this camouflage Lynx view. Camouflage coverage is important for the Lynx pilot, flown today by Lieutenant Ian Falston. When the aircraft is separated on an airfield this size, it's difficult for him to see the Wildcat at the far end of the display, and the white high-intensity strobe lights help him to pick out the aircraft because the camouflage is really quite good. As the aircraft closed towards the display line, you can see the Wildcat has a larger tail boom and a horizontal stabiliser, which gives it a lot more stability at high speed, but does cause some problems, as we found out in practice yesterday with the crosswind. Can get a weather cooking effect, knocking the aircraft out from the wind. So different challenges with this new aircraft type for Gary McCall flying the Wildcat. You'll notice that the Lynx has its rear wheels towed out, and this allows the Lynx to land on the flight deck of a ship and rotate around its harpoon, which it fires into the grid on the deck. The Wildcat can do this as well, but we've got the clearance with the Wildcat to fly with the rear wheels forward and aft to allow for a greater running landing speed if required. Other differences you'll note as the aircraft come towards you. The camera on the front of the Wildcat is a little bit smaller than the camera on the front of the Lynx, but it is a lot better. Same sort of camera that you'll see on a police helicopter. It allows us to locate and identify ships from a greater range. Both aircraft have a radar underneath the chin, which allows us to get ahead of our mothership over the horizon and build a picture for the ship's captain, the ship's team, to see what's going on around the ship. With two CTS Helitech 800 engines, which give it a lot more power and will be able to outclimb the Lynx very rapidly, and allows it to operate up to 130 knots at the moment, which we're hoping will increase as the aircraft enters service. The intention is to replace all the Lynx in the Royal Naval Service with Wildcat. We've bought 28 and we're getting them delivered, as I previously said, just about every month or so, and we're starting to convert the crews from Lynx to Wildcat, and we've got approximately 38 crews to convert over the next 3 years before the Lynx goes out of service in 2017.
That's how you do it. As the nose go forward. Another
the exhausts. The engines are a lot larger, so there's a sort of top-heavy view to the aircraft, but the exhausts are deflected up through the rotor disc to reduce the infrared signature of the aircraft, making it a little bit more stealthy. But the main difference between these two aircraft is the computing power inside the Wildcat and its avionics and sensor suite, which allow the aircraft to manage more information. The Wildcat and the Lynx share the same rotors and the same gearbox, but because the Wildcat is a lot heavier, it has more inertia and requires bigger control inputs to match the performance of the Lynx. The Lynx is slightly more agile and requires a little bit more finesse to make it look like the Wildcat performance. So the pilots are working quite hard to make two very different aircraft fly the same for you this afternoon. As you see them coming into land at towards the end of the display, I'd like to thank you for your support of the Black Cats. You can follow us on Facebook. If you want to learn more about the Wildcat, it will be displaying 3 or 4 more times later in the year. The next show